We didn't always watch football at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Protect the football. Buffalo Wild Wings. Football the way it should be.
Welcome to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Corner here at the Hoopsville National Invitational Classic. I'm Dave McHugh, host of Hoopsville. A little bit different, not necessarily a coach, but a former coach, but longtime athletics director here at Stevenson University. And we thought it would maybe behoove us a little bit to talk about the Classic that has been this year and what it will be in the future. So, Brett, from your point of view, how has the National Classic been in your mind so far this weekend?
Well, really, really pleased. When you give an opportunity for young men to have an experience at the national level, of course, you know I love Division III basketball, and you know, the many trips to Salem and the experience that they get, and to have this type of experience early, I know our kids have really benefited from it. I've talked to a lot of the other kids from the other schools, and they're really, I think, very proud to be here for the first year.
3 top 25 teams. The fourth one will come out of here, though maybe 1 or 2 lose those rankings as a result of Catholic University. Are you surprised not only by the response we got from some of the top teams for this year, but already have been getting even before this Classic for next year and the year after that?
Well, I was surprised because we decided to do this relatively late last year, and we thought this first year was going to be very difficult. You know, with the Pride of Maryland tournament, not the right fit for a few coaches in the state, and you really need 100% participation. So when we sat down, we said we wanted to have the best tournament in the country, and what would that take? And I really felt that it had to be beyond our borders, and it had to be beyond our region. And so a national invitational, that's obviously where Hoopsville is the spoken expert on, and D3 Hoops is spoken, and that's not a surprise to anyone. It is. I mean, you know, we're better than Division II in that respect, and our kids get that great experience, and this has been since, you know, the early 90s. And you know, Hoopsville really helped open the door to the conversation with great coaches, and then of course Gary Stewart, who's a great ambassador for the university. So I was surprised. I know that's what our goal was initially, and I'm very pleased with the outcome. I couldn't be more pleased about the tournament. You know, we talk about the top 25, and Catholic's not in the top 25 right now, but you have Transylvania, who is obviously a very good program, as is Randolph-Macon. And they go nose to nose to a 2-point game last night, and you know, both coaches, you know, did a super job. You know, I think if you'd asked me the night before whether there's some teams that are ranked too high and maybe a team that wasn't ranked should be there, I said maybe I would agree with you. But watching, I know Randolph-Macon is a very good team. You just look at their talent, you look at their coaching style, what they're running, their adjustments. But Brian Lane makes an adjustment last night against losing a tough game the night before. He's playing the back-to-back against Randolph, who's playing in their first game. They played 2 days ago, but it's not like playing back-to-back. And he makes an adjustment with their post player to move them outside. And this is great coaching, and you know, there's a reason they're in the top 25. Is, you know, those type of decisions, you know, help keep moving a team forward. And you know, they're obviously without their top point guard. So I'm not so sure they're not a top 25 team, or you know, St. Mary's and. I just think Catholic's that good. So no, I'm very pleased with the tournament. I know our kids are talking about it. I know, you know, even the Franciscans. We got a call the other day, and it's just saying, you know, how appreciative they were to be at the tournament. Obviously, they're a Catholic school, and you know, the premier Catholic school in the country is Catholic University of America.
It kind of worked out nicely.
So I think, you know, their campus is proud, and you know that, you know, John's doing a good job recruiting, and this is a very, and I know what it's like to be there. We were new many years ago, and he's really working hard to get new. So it's exceeded, I think, any of our expectations.
It always begs the question, the future.
Sure.
I know dabbled in conversations about getting bigger because we have the interest to bring in even more schools. The Classic allows you to add games without adding days. You know, there's lots of ideas out there, and Gary, yourself, we haven't sat down to really hash them out. We're all thinking on kind of the high of the weekend, but it does beg the question: can it be bigger? It also begs the question, and I know you. Do you dare even try and do this on the women's side?
Well, it's funny. You get 3 of us, like you, Gary, and myself, in a room who loves basketball, loves Division III basketball. want to make the best experience for the kids. That's a dangerous formula.
It is a very dangerous
I'm not sure
formula.
our vice president, Tim Campbell, and our president will want to, I mean, but as long as we, you know.
Nice guys, but hope.
Well, I think you mentioned the whole piece of the quality of the experience and the quality of the tournament. So, you know, bigger, if it's not going to increase the quality, is probably not the right move. But if adding 2 more teams or adding women's programs, we do have another nice gym on the other campus.
Right.
We do have some experience, but I have personnel who work really pretty hard here. But the women's programs are a strong interest. And actually, Gary and Jackie have done a great job in connecting the 2 programs where, you know, they travel together. There's a great relationship between the 2 of them. And I experienced with Chris Raymond for 17 years of what it means to the kids to develop the respect for each other and respect for the game and to help each other's game grow. So, you know, that's an interest right now. I think selfishly, if we could, you know, if we stay with 8 teams next year and we're not ranked, I'd love to see 7 top 25 teams. I think Gary would too. And you know, we have, Gary, myself, you all have some very strong relationships in the coaching ranks at the highest level in Division III. There's quite a bit of interest in that. So yeah, I think that we're going to have a fun time talking about how not only successful this was, but where can we go and what can we do. And I know our president and vice president are really excited about next year. And you know, he's talked about getting our PR machine, you know, in place to really make sure that everyone knows that this is the best tournament in the country.
It's interesting because even the schools who have come to visit have been wonderful to be around and be a part of this classic. So it's been fun for the first year, though. I'm looking forward to sleeping a little bit more down the road, though. Who knows how long?
Dave,
it's basketball season.
It's basketball season. It's just not March.
It's just hasn't. You're right. Well, and that's the other thing. You know, we talked to Gary Stewart in an earlier podcast. You know, this year's a special year in Division III in the sense that they're taking the championship on the men's side and playing it at the Final Four in Atlanta. And whether you are for or against that is irrelevant. That is what they're doing to celebrate 75 years. Coincidentally, you kick off the season with one of the biggest classics or tournaments in Division III, especially on a school's site. The idea, it seems from a lot of coaches, is they like the idea of getting that challenge early on and playing in something that really kick-starts their season versus just kind of starting it up and all of a sudden you're in conference play.
Well, yeah, and that was always my mentality as a coach. You don't want to test yourself early, and obviously Gary and I think Steve Howe and I talked a little bit last night. He was really excited about it because he felt he was right. I mean, he felt this summer, even though he's without 2 of his top players, he felt going into the season he was prepared. And what better way to test the team early, and they are playing very unselfish basketball. They're very balanced with guard play and post play. I think the teams that will come have absolutely that mentality that they want to challenge themselves early. You know, obviously conference play is the AQ, but you know this is a great time to play for the at-large bid,
or even a hosting opportunity if need be.
You mentioned the tournament. I have to, from an administrator's standpoint, I love. I've gone to the Division I Final Four. I've been to Salem, and the fact that 8 teams get to go to Salem this year and experience what the great city of Salem and Paige Moyer, Roanoke, and all the people there, what they do, and give more kids experience. I think that's a magical place, and at the same time, lacrosse is pretty big in our area, and I've watched what our teams experienced at the national championship and how Division III is treated at the Division I, II, and III national championships for lacrosse, and I just think it's really great for the sport. You know, we would like to also do the same thing for the women. You know, we've put in a bid for the Division II and III Women's Lacrosse Championship, which happens to be in Baltimore, also for the Division I, II, and III Men's Lacrosse Championship, and really making it a great experience for those fans. And so I think the Atlanta decision by Dan Dutcher from the NCAA and the basketball committees is a great decision. I'd also like to see it for the women. Anytime you get basketball fanatics who will come and watch Division III basketball, I think they'll appreciate the coaching, the knowledge, and the experience. And
it won't be just a second thought, like it sometimes is.
Not at all.
He's Brett Adams, Athletics Director for Stevenson University. You know the drill. Hoopsville guests always get the final word. Any final thoughts you want to share with us?
No, this is, I guess, in 25 years, yeah, I know, 25 years, how about that?
I'm not going to do the math.
No, was right about the time Pat Coleman was starting
Mhm.
this thing with D3 Hoops and this technology of the website and
Yeah.
so on. I just know the people that are connected with it are so appreciative of it. And I remember when blogs were, the kids were reading the blogs every week, and I'm having to do blog management and blog control. And now we're doing video and live streaming games, and my friends and family from Vermont and New York can watch this. It's just tremendous. I mean, and we talk about the kids getting a great experience. I'm not sure where Division III basketball would be without Hoopsville and D3 Hoops. I'm certain it would not be as good a place as it is now.
Well said. I know it would be appreciated by many. Brett Adams, thank you once again. That's another installment of the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Corner from the Hoopsville National Invitational Classic.